If you've struggled with stress, balance, or burnout, and simply feel discouraged or even defeated, and if you're ready to move from force to flow and enjoy ultimate Zen success in your career, health, or relationships, then the Zen Success Show is for you. Your host, Carissa Sims, is an entrepreneur, corporate consultant, best-selling author, meditation teacher, and healer who has found her own Zen success. Here's your host, Carissa Sims.
Welcome to this week's episode of Zen Success. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Chris Janukolvski. Chris is the author of Near-Death Lessons and is the founder and CEO of Remote Staff, a recruiting company specializing in remote working placements. Remarkably, he was able to build and grow this business while battling cancer. I'm a cancer survivor also, so my heart is with you there. Failing kidneys and several brain operations, which is so interesting and just intense that you survived all of that. You don't hear that very often. It gives me this feeling of that you're so meant to be here, as a model for your children and others. And in your book, it's so many times to have these things happen to you. It's just amazing. So throughout these challenges and more, Chris was able to find a way to transform his life, one from fear, struggle, and self-doubt to one of empowerment, success, health, and happiness. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you for having me on your show. Awesome. And congratulations as well for moving on beyond our illnesses and not letting that be a place where we get, stuck in darkness because the way we bounce back from adversities time and time again is to embrace living life to the fullest, to embrace living, because we want to be able to be excited and optimistic and hopeful for our futures. If we have a sense of purpose and meaning, we can always be knocked out and then, find our way back to our feet.
That's incredible. And I love how you say, don't get stuck in the darkness and also with the identity. And part of me doesn't even feel, to be honest, I'm not shouting it off the rooftops that I'm a cancer survivor. I bring it up as I feel fit and because I just feel like that was a time in my life. Yes, I'm a survivor and I'm happy. And I don't focus on it. And I'm just living my best life and thriving because I'm focused on the health, the joy, the other things in my life and my kids, which we talked a little bit about, the yin and yang of fighting and playing.
Sure. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, exactly. I mean, don't get us wrong. When people mention these things, it's not an all-consuming thing in our lives, but it definitely was an impactful event in our lives. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Obviously people are suffering out there, so I don't want to minimize it. I'm just saying for me as a person going through it, that helped me seeing myself thriving, seeing myself loving life. And with my kids, okay, now I'm going to get emotional, but I was my kids need me.
100%.
My kids need me. And people need me and people need you, right?
And the world needs us. The world needs us as individuals to be here. We all have this opportunity to be here. We can't take our lives for granted. We are here. And while we are here, yes, we can do all that we want to serve our own pleasures and desires and our own interests. But it's far more enriching and fulfilling to think that we've got this gift called life and that we have an opportunity to give back in some way. Everyone has this desire in our secret desires to want to contribute, to serve, to make an impact to not just our families, to a wider community and a bigger, we all want to matter and count in some way. None of us want to just come and go like we never even existed. And we don't, so I think all these elements in us is a seed around the world, regardless of the cultures. And yeah, it's great when we can, as human beings, apply ourselves to what's most important and say, you know what? I've learned one thing, that if it's really important for me, like your kids, for example, what makes you so sure that that's not going to be important for you even when you pass away? Of course, what's important is important, regardless whether you're here or not.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Now, I know probably everybody says this, but I detect a small accent. Is that Aussie?
Yeah,
Australian
accent. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm born and raised in Australia, but I live between LA and Sydney. Yeah.
You do. Okay. Sydney. Yeah. I've been to Melbourne and Perth. So I didn't make it to Sydney.
That's on the jewel.
It is the jewel. And because I felt like that needed its own separate trip. So,
it does,
but I, on a side note, I traveled with a bunch of Aussies, South Africans, and Kiwis. And so I kind of got used to the different, like I could distinguish a little bit more between, the accents and British and others. But yeah, I always admired the Aussie spirit, to be honest. The love of life, of living for the moment, and how much vacation you guys had.
I think because we're so far away from the rest of the world, we're very much adventurous. We want to explore what's out there. And I also think because as a country, we're so bloody governed. It's a perfect utopia. Like everything's perfect, everything's nice, and like it's beautiful. It's safe. It's whatever. But you know what? That's not how the world operates. And there's so much awesomeness and dynamics out there in the world. And so living in Asia is extremely different compared to living in Europe, or compared to living in America, or America's different compared to living in, there's all these different parts of the world. And it's great when I've had an opportunity. One of my dreams was to work around the world anywhere and hang out, not like a tourist, but like I did the digital nomad
live
lifestyle.
there, you mean?
Live there.
Yeah. Okay.
6 weeks at a time. And I did that because 6 weeks was a sweet spot where you could feel like, okay, if I went to Notting Hill in London, I hanged out in that area and got to know the local restaurants and shops, people. I got to know markets and events and, I got to experience it, but I didn't stay there long enough to say, well, now I've settled there. I don't want to settle somewhere. I want to experience what it's like living there. And so when you do 6 weeks, that's a sweet spot. 1 month is slightly too short. 2 months was slightly too long. 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's amazing. It reminds me a little bit of the Tim Ferriss book, The 4-Hour Work Week, of just being mobile. I mean, how could you do that? Did you start, you're the founder of Remote Staff. Is that how you did it? You started your own company?
Yeah. So what's fascinating is when I was traveling around the world, living this lifestyle, everyone was bringing Tim Ferriss's book to my attention. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get around to reading it. And then probably like many, many years of living this lifestyle, maybe like 4 or 5 years later, I finally read the book and I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing.
Yeah, you live it. You never needed to. That's probably why it didn't resonate.
But that's a great book, except he went on this notion of like trying to cap out your day to 4 hours a week, where it was or whatever it was. I was always more like, no, work as hard as you can, live as hard as you can every day. And
okay, so work as hard as you can and live as hard as you can. So what does that look like in times of hours?
I'm doing it now because I've got my kids and family in America. So we are working. So I'm here. I have a separate apartment here. Then I have another apartment for them at the moment. And so when I'm with them, I'm doing the typical thing. I leave at around 8 o'clock. I'm here at my apartment 15 minutes later. I'm just setting things up. I then leave here around 5. So I do but this is what I'm doing here. And then I'm with them through the rest of the day and night. And but it depends which part of the world I'm at, and depends on the time zone. So
Okay.
like in Thailand, I love Thailand because
I love Thailand too.
I love Thailand, yeah. And so I enjoy enjoying my breakfast time with the family. I then work. I then stop at 3 p.m. and then I have these awesome massages or walks on the beach. I travel. I walk amongst the holiday makers, and I have just forgotten all stress, all work-related topics because I'm just in holiday mode right away. So when you're working in a holiday destination, sometimes I love it because it forces a disconnect from work, because you're with these holiday makers who've been lounging around on the beach all day, and you meet them and you're like, yeah, how you doing, man? Fine. Forget about all these meetings and things that you're trying to pull off or do. That didn't work. You have to fire that person, whatever. That none of it matters. All of a sudden you're there, you're at the beach, you're with somebody. Oh, where are you from? Oh, you're from Germany. Oh, cool. How long are you here for? You're here for 2 months. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Where do you like to stay in Thailand? What side?
Thailand, it's Koh Samui. I've been doing a lot of
Koh Samui. That's my place too. Yeah.
I love the whole island vibe. I love the fact that the word Koh Samui in Thailand means freedom, and I feel like the freedom when I'm there. I don't care about the world. Like there's nothing when I'm there, I'm just there on this tropical island, and it's a great healing environment. Lots of spas, lots of healthy food, great lifestyle blend. So yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations for experiencing that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I first went there, I was 13 and I'm 50 now. So
50, yeah.
Yeah, we're the same age. Oh, that's awesome. 50 rocks. I'm like excited.
73 March 24.
Oh, okay. May 10th, 1973.
I was hoping there might be a bingo,
like an exact.
Yeah.
Okay. But we still have to say it's a synchronicity and amazing, because you celebrated your 50th this year. Did you do something special?
Recently. I had the family. Actually, I went back to Sydney very quickly, and my wife surprised me. I wanted to stay low key because I'm traveling around the world so much, and she organized all my friends and family members for a little gathering at a beautiful part of Sydney, and yeah, it was great.
Oh, that's awesome! Now, does she come with you to LA? Sorry.
No, I wanted to know how about you? May 10th has passed already.
You want to know what I did? Oh, yeah, sure. You're so nice. This is an interview about you, but this is now turning into a conversation like we're old friends. So So for my 50th, I went with some girlfriends, some moms, and we went to this hot springs, and we rented an Airbnb. And it was very spiritual, just connecting with the water. And it was a full moon that weekend. I'm spiritual. And so we did lots of meditations and grounding exercises and just letting go and being free. And then actually a few days later was my actual birthday. I went out for Mexican food at dinner, and then did some karaoke. So that was a grand finale, was karaoke. Mm-hmm.
Okay, karaoke. Awesome. I know this is an interview, but I have to say, like, being spiritual and stuff, I know being a woman in India is tricky, but have you been to India?
I have been to India. I have been a lot of places, yes. And I have a friend who's American, but Indian. Both of her parents are full Indian. So she's got a lot of relatives there. So she got married there. So I went for her wedding, which is like the extravagant India, but I also went to Bombay and, did some tourist things in Delhi, the Taj Mahal and all of that. Yeah. So I have been to Punjab and the Pink City. So,
City.
I really resonate with India. I really resonate. Like, I think I was there in a past life.
Yeah. So did you get a chance to spend so I had a chance to spend 5 months there, 6 months.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, so I chased all the gurus. I hugged all those people.
Oh my God, you had the full spiritual
I
journey.
full journey. Yes, I went to see Sai Baba. I went to see all these other people, and I stayed at certain ashrams. I participated, and I touched my essence twice, and I came to terms with my mortality there after living 13 years with my mortality anxiety, having all these conditions, and anyway. So it was
That was
fascinating.
after, can I ask you, that was after your near deaths? You went to India.
So we'll go back a little bit. So I've had a total of 8 near-death experiences, starting from the age of 7 to the last one was 44. Now 50. I've had a good run for a while. And the first time I had a diagnosis of my hereditary condition was at 19, when I was told I'd be dead by 30.
Wow.
And I mean, it was a brutal diagnosis.
How did you take that?
I mean, it was devastating because I had some angiomas and tumors in my right eye, and we didn't know why at 16 I was getting these tumors. Because in the eye thing I was attending with my father, I'm the only kid there or teenager, and everybody else is like these 70-plus-year-old people. And so it took him 3 years to figure out what it was. And when I got the diagnosis, the guy was, we got some good news and bad news. I go, yeah. Well, what's the good news? He goes, well, we found out the reason for your tumors. I go, oh, that's great. He goes, well, the bad news is you have a rare hereditary condition that forms cysts and tumors, and sometimes cancerous. You grow hereditary cancer. It's a very rare condition in all your major organs. And you might even have cancer now. So, we don't know much about it. I want to wish you all the best. I wanted to let you know that, there's a short life expectancy. The average life expectancy is 30, so you're probably even not going to live a very long life. That's your condition. That was it. No support, no information, nothing. I was
Isn't that awful to a kid?
It was awful
to say that
to a 19-year-old. I was just starting my life. I was questioning what am I going to do with my career, and then this bombshell just threw everything out the door. I spoke to my parents. I spoke to friends. I couldn't relate to anyone about this thing. And I thought, if I actually really ignored it, if I really questioned, challenged it, that it might disappear. That was my strategy. That was my coping strategy. I thought at 19, if I really pretended that it really disappeared, that it might really disappear. Until at 31, at 32, it finally got me with a brain tumor that almost killed me. Yeah. And then
but you lived a pretty good life. I mean, a pretty long life up until then, 32, because that is a strategy for manifestation sometimes, ignoring it. But I think with disease and pain, it's better because it's always a message. That's my opinion. It's always something that you need to pay attention to. So connecting with it, that's my strategy anyway, and sending it love and then having a whole thing. Okay, it's time for you to go, unless you do surgery.
Yeah. So with mine, it's very, hereditary. I mean, whether I believe food and mindset and emotional wellness and all that stuff plays a part, but our genetics play out whatever we do. And so the genetics has an influence, and we tumor up. So right now I'm living with 6 brain tumors. I'm living with 3 fast growing cancers.
And you're,
what? And so what?
Yeah. And your point is,
focus on life, control what you can control in your life, life, your attitude, your mindset, your actions. Leave the rest to God's business, whatever. I mean, that's that. When you come to terms with your mortality, you can embrace your existence. You have extreme gratitude. You are okay with the terms that are ungoverned by your understanding, and you can move on and just control the interests and the affairs and what drives you. Flow in your energy, flow what's in your truth. Focus there. My adversities do you see me as a victim? Do you see me being
I don't.
shadowed by my adversity. No,
No,
because
not at all. In
not
fact,
at all.
just empowered actually by it.
Exactly. I'm
Mhm.
empowered by it. So
Yeah.
13 years of disempowerment, I had enough of that. When that brain tumor finally came and I had that diagnosis, I looked at the sky and I said, God, kill me. I've had enough. I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to always be full of doubts and insecurities or uncertainties about my welfare or my life or what I'm doing. I don't want to live like that. I don't know after this brain operation whether I'll be able to touch my nose, move my hands, talk, be in a wheelchair, whatever. But I have to accept the fact that I'm going to be here, be alive, be here however long that is, and I'm going to choose to focus on life. I'm going to embrace living life for a change. And that was the first time when I shifted my mind from disempowered to self-empowerment. Self-empowerment is a choice we could all make. And then when we do embrace that choice of saying, that's it, I'm going to embrace self-empowerment, it became, I've still got these patterns of limiting belief and outlooks. And so it was a fascinating journey post my brain operation because I took a year off to heal, hence why I was in India also for 5 months. But, Ayurvedic treatments and all this stuff.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah. And so, all these things are, it's all in our hands. It's annoying because it's just a shift. It's a small shift. Broke multimillionaire, living a disempowered life, living an empowered life, living a life of always doubts and insecurity, living a life of incredible creation and drive and contribution and impact.
Yeah.
Freaking hell. It's just on a knife edge.
Yeah, bring it. Feel that choice point, that decision. Yeah.
It's all a game. Our brain is playing this game because our brain is so friggin' lazy. It wants to form, like when I had the brain operation the second time and a tumor burst and almost killed me. It was fascinating. God. It was fascinating because the tumor affected everything on my left side. So that's how my left side works now. 50 years, 6 years, or 7, whatever. Or 6, yeah. And it took me 8 months to learn how to walk and talk again. Learning how to do that again, going for the occupational therapist and rehabilitation.
I'm an OT.
Oh, there you go. Doing all that work allowed me to understand that, wow, our brains are nothing more than just brain patterns. And that when I moved a little simple pencil lid cover from the left side of the table to the right, that knocked me out for 45 minutes, an hour. And the OT said to me, Chris, she was still there. She goes, well, you just formed a new synapses connection. It's like forming a new paradigm. So that's how much energy it took for your body to make that move for the first time with your hand that was out of control. And that knocked you out because your brain can't produce more energy. It has to take from the rest of the body. That's what the body does. And the brain's already consuming so much energy and it doesn't want to, the body and the brain are working very hard to not consume more energy from you, but that's what it takes to form a mega change. Or it forms or it takes an interruption on your part to stop entertaining that particular brain pattern activity because it's so easy for the brain to fire chemical or electrical connections between synapses that, I'm not a neurosurgeon or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, neuroscientist, but I'm just explaining that we are literally patterns. And while I had my operation a month before the birth of my second son, Billy, I got to see my son and myself develop. I was developing on my left side, learning how to grow,
wow,
move, and I got to see him crawl and walk and
do it.
He's developing. Same. We were developing at the same point until I got to around 4, and he's overtaken me already. He's now 6. So his neuroplasticity development in his mobility is significantly better on his left than my left hand right now.
Fascinating. And it's so beautiful for you to recognize that in your life and see that parallel and how you're both in it together and like your flesh and blood, your son, and Yeah. Amazing. I mean, it's like encouraging him to crawl is like encouraging yourself to keep going, right?
We were both crawling at the same time.
Wow. It's
But
beautiful.
but, but
It's a
what's
special
fascinating
bond though, isn't it, between you two
between
after going? Yeah.
well, he has my hereditary condition. So my first son is a carbon copy of me, and he thinks like me. He acts like me. I don't hang out with my. I'm a father. I'm a typical driven, crazy man. I don't hang out with my kids. Like as a mother, I know if you had all the time in the world and you just had you had a chance to do anything you want, you'd probably want to hang out with your kids, like my wife would. But
Mm,
as a driven father, I want to hang out with my kids as a typical dad. I do activities together, hang out every now and then, enjoy them, love them, be with them, play with them. But I don't want to spend all day with them necessarily all the time.
okay, I'm right there. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
right there
great.
with you. And I don't
Awesome.
feel bad
Okay.
about it.
I
That's
don't
why
feel
I'm
bad
like,
about it.
do it all that. Yeah. Because also we're an inspiration for them to do what's important to us, what fulfills us in our dream. And then the time that you do spend with them, you're not resentful. You enjoy that because you have set aside that time.
Well, I just want to make sure that they understand that I have a life, you have a life, and I'm not going to control your life as much as
Yes.
you're not going to control mine.
Yes.
It's a partnership as a family. We're going to be a
Mm,
unit, and I can't demonstrate self empowerment any more better than my actions.
yes.
My actions are emulated
Yeah.
because they get to make a decision independently, and they always remember a certain moment or time where they go, "Oh, but Dad, we've done this way," or maybe Dad, when Dad did
Yes.
this, he did this way. Well, I'm therefore going to do it differently. Good on you, try it.
Yeah. Why
But
not?
so my son, my oldest son, 12-year-old, I always have to reflect: am I a creation of my adversities, my environment, my upbringing, or genetics? Because far out, genetics has a massive influence.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. So just logistically, I'm just curious, two kids of my own. Are your kids going back and forth with you? Are they or do they go to school in Australia?
No, so we homeschool.
Oh, okay, perfect. So then they can live anywhere, anytime. And we got a whole nother level of conversation.
Yeah, but this is their first time in America, and I'm going to be, which is amazing, because my wife is a Filipina, and
Okay.
she recently just got her Australian passport after so many years,
Oh, yeah.
and so
Yeah.
now it's a lot easier for her to come here. But
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
we're in the process of transitioning and settling properly here and there. Like right now, I'm flying up and down, it's too much. Whereas, settling here half a year and for them
Yeah.
is much better. I want to embrace uh, being here because I've started a new business, published a book. I feel like my message is mostly important to deliver here in this part of the world,
I see.
and that's why I'm here. I feel like I'm called to be here.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. And you live in LA, Santa Monica?
Mm, that's right.
Mhm. Yeah. I lived in Venice for a long time, 20
Mm.
years. I went to USC, worked at UCLA. Yeah, a professor at USC. So I have a special place in my heart for LA. And I still have come to LA every once in a while. And
Where are you
things
now?
slowed down during COVID. Now I'm in Colorado.
Okay.
Near Boulder. So wonderful. That's so exciting that you homeschool your kids. I homeschool one child, my daughter, and my son goes to traditional school. But the life that you're living is sometimes what I think about. I think about like, oh my God, we could live anywhere and I can show my kids the world. And so my daughter is free. She's free of that. My son is just still like wants to be with his friends. I gave him the choice. But my daughter was just done. She was just like, okay, I'm done with school. And what's so amazing is that her creativity seemed to just explode not being in school. Have you found that?
Well, one thing is we've grown up two individuals. They are creative. They're problem solvers. They are
Yes.
independent thinkers. They because we do so much, and my wife is she's I'm a creative thinker. I'm very different. My wife we're polar opposite. I like
Okay.
sweets. She likes savory, salty stuff.
Okay.
I like it cold. She likes it hot. Well, yeah,
Yeah, the yin and yang coming together.
Yeah, completely yin and yang. Incredible fit for yin and yang.
Yes.
And so she has these great adventures with the kids and learning experiences. So I'm a dyslexic learner. She's a typical academic kind of intellect. She could read a legal agreement and bloody understand it the first time.
Oh, wow.
I could read it.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, I could read it 30 times and barely understand 10%. It pisses me off. Anyway,
yeah, me too. It's like way over my head. Yeah, that's amazing.
But she has these experiences. We have these experiences with the kids. And so, we get a chance to. So I pay a lot of money for private schools. And then I got the kids out for homeschooling. I'm spending as much money, if not more, homeschooling because, we give them incredible experiences, teachers, specialty learning opportunities from around the world, not just our geographical location. Mm-hmm. So we get a chance to really, it's far more enriching is all I could say.
Yeah, definitely enriching. So that's wonderful. So I want to go back to when you started your company, Remote Staff. At what age or how many years ago did you start that, and how did it build and grow?
So the Remote Staff business came from a bargain. I keep bargaining for my life. Because
a bargain with God?
Bargain.
Or with...
Yeah, yes.
Oh, I want to hear this.
So I had my brain operation the first time. Then my right kidney was removed because it was 95% occupied by cancer. I had to take that out 2 months later. And then they wanted to go into my left kidney because there's 4 big tumors there. I go, guys, whoa, slow down. I just had a brain operation. And I can barely turn my head and you guys have taken my right kidney out.
Yeah.
And now you want to go back in again? No, I need to heal. I need to take some time out. I'm a walking dead man anyway. It's been in my body for all this time. So let's just we'll address it when I was very blasé about it. And so anyway, I took a year off, came back and eventually saw the doctor and eventually had the operation a few years later in February 2008. But late 2007, I had the consultation with the doctor and about the kidney, and we're discussing removing the cancers, cutting me in half instead of keyhole to preserve as much of the original kidney as possible. Since it's my last kidney, my right kidney was removed. And the doctor was like, look, we don't know. We're going to go in there. We're going to remove the tumors. We might find a few little ones. I'm going to see if I can get them. But what we're going to do is when I do cut you in half, we'll see how you go. You might have 2 years of kidney life remaining, maybe 10 years if you're lucky. It depends on your hereditary condition. And I said, all right, doc, listen, I know this is my last shot before I'm on dialysis and all this stuff. I don't think a quality of life exists when you're on dialysis. So, mate, give me 10 more years of kidney life and I will employ thousands of people. I just felt like I needed to do something noble in return for another second chance at life again.
Beautiful.
I mean, I've already had so many second chances and this is another one. And I said, listen, now I'm bargaining with him, but I'm really talking through him. I know the miracles happen with the doctor.
Yes.
Or via the doctor. And so, all of us are vessels. And so anyway, so when I bargained for him, that was the seed. Because the seed was already in my mind. And my father was a factory manager, employed thousands of people. So I didn't know. There's just something that came to me spontaneously. I thought, maybe employing people might be noble enough for me to justify my existence.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So at the time, I didn't employ anyone. And so I started the company. And since then, I've employed 8,000 people.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so before that, you were using them as contractors, hiring them as needed. Is that what you mean?
No. So when I took a year off, I went to the Philippines, fell in love. I did all these things, but also fell in love with the people and the culture.
Did you fall in love with your wife?
That's where I fall in love with my wife.
Oh,
after my brain operation, and I didn't know whether I was going to be alive.
Oh my God. And you're like, who is this amazing woman? The Filipino people are the best. They are so gracious. I mean, they're amazing. I went there when I was 16, so I know the Philippines too. That's incredible. So how did you meet her?
Again, this is all random stuff. I did a Second Chance to Life. Was all about having fun, catching up on women. That was my second chance of life.
Casual. You thought it was going to be casual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
it was after India. So I met her before I went to India. And then after 3-4 months in the Philippines, I went to India. And before then, I was just dating, fooling around with girls. And then after India, I was on these one dates with some Israeli girl from military. She just got out. And some Indian kind of, well, I don't know what they call, but the beard, and they've only got a sarong. And anyway, he was at a coffee shop below it was a coffee shop that in Rishikesh, I can't say it very well, my speech is still affected, where the yoga capital of India is. And I'm in a date where the girl went to do something to get changed because her shoulders were showing and there was too much attention. It's like, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable. There's all these people looking at you. What the hell are they looking at? I understand you're a girl, but freaking out, you haven't got your boobs or something showing. Why are they staring at your shoulders? Anyway.
Because it's not socially acceptable to show your shoulders in India and maybe some places.
I didn't understand it.
You didn't understand.
I don't know. I just said to her, can you please change? Because I'm freaking out because I'm talking to you, but they're staring. They're not casually looking. They're just staring at you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway. When she took off, some guy that looked like a junkie bum stood up and said, "You foreigners are all the same." I go,
thank you.
What's up, Guru? Tell me what do you
tell me my message?
He goes, you're looking for love. I can see it. I go, nah, man, I'm looking at her ass.
Yeah.
And we had this conversation, and he was telling me, not Chris, he was saying, like, you got to learn to love. Learn to love. It was his message. And then he just took off. And I was just there at this coffee shop.
Wow.
Got smacked with this message about learn to love randomly, not thinking about it.
Yeah.
This girl finally comes back. I finished the coffee, whatever. We move on. And then this message was just, I just started practicing this. I thought about it, and everyone I started dating after that was about this notion of learn to love, like learn to love something about them, appreciate something about them. And I went on this, so not only spiritual journey, not only did I come to terms with my mortality and had a whole new level of gratitude and appreciation for life, but I was also learning to love others, opening my heart for the first time, in not putting this big wall. It was a mind-blowing experience because it allowed, when you open up your heart to learn to love, you realize that, see, before that moment, I have to explain, I thought falling in love was a miracle because I was so close to it. I had guards and walls to it. But the moment I opened up to learn to love, I was shocked that love was everywhere and love was freaking easy. I could learn to love anyone. Some were harder, some were easier, anyone. And
because you could find something that's really beautiful. You could find something that you could love in anyone. Yeah, amazing.
No matter who they are. And you know what? Because first and foremost, we are all walking miracles.
My heart is just expanding with your messages. Yes, I'm resonating.
This is incredible. And so love is I always say to my wife, I'm frustrated by love because love is out of my control. I like to be in control. Love is out of control. You're also much more generous. You're far more generous than you intended to be. You're far more giving. You're far more focused on serving than taking. Love is a friggin' annoying thing for those reasons, but it's an awesome blessing. I'm just playing with it. But it's an amazing thing. So love, can you imagine that? All my life, I didn't believe about having a future because I thought I was going to be dead by 30.
Yeah. So why invest in love if you're not even going to be alive? I totally
What's the
get
point?
that. Yeah. What's the point? Yeah.
It
You have
was
to
all
have
about
that
me.
shield on your heart.
All I wanted to do when I got that diagnosis and be dead and at 19, all I wanted to do was just have a laugh. I just wanted to have a good time until around about 25, 24. I was wondering, why is it, I'm going to be dead by 30. Why is it still important to me to find purpose and meaning in my life, a career that matters? Why do I give a shit about mattering in some way or doing something that's important? Why for me or for others? Or I didn't understand that. That took me a while to figure out. And I couldn't find satisfaction in a job and ended up becoming an entrepreneur as a result. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay. So I want to go back to like you meeting your wife in the Philippines.
Sure.
So did you guys connect immediately? And it was just
yeah. She was different from the other girls. Like, you got to remember, my second chance at life. I just had a brain operation.
Yeah.
I just had a kidney removed. I've got cancers in my kidney that I'm aware of now.
You're like, I'm a catch.
I'm alive, and I am just embracing this second chance of catching up.
Yeah.
And so I'm in Asia. I'm a white guy in Asia, man, that I capitalized. I had a lot of fun. And so I'm just one girl after another having all these incredible experiences. And Rika was my wife. Her name is Rika, like America, Costa Rica. So Rika is she was just one of the other girls.
Yeah.
Like I said, she was great to be with. Like, I enjoyed the other girls. She was definitely much more special than the other girls. But I don't know. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about having fun. But when I came back from India, it was a whole nother experience looking at this woman in a different way.
Oh, because you went back to her. You came back to visit her.
I came back to her. As a matter of fact, she was the first girl I came back to. And when I spent time with her, I mean, I just didn't want to leave her. I realized that I couldn't live my life without her. I was amazed. I was amazed by just how much she enriched me, enabled me, and I felt like I did something for her. And it was like two energies on fire. And on multiple levels, not just physical, it was emotional, mental, and spiritual. And I felt physical connections that enlightened energies on both parties, maybe a mental as well with a few others, but no one I've ever had that had this spark of spirituality connection, this kind of, knowing or of comfort amongst each other to just be.
Yeah.
It was fascinating.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's so beautiful. And then you really, at that point, you had already started remote stuff, right? So
No.
Oh, so
this
that
is
was a little bit more.
2006.
Oh, okay. So that was a little bit more of an inspiration, your wife being from this country.
Yeah, that's right. And fall in love with the family values there. The Filipinos have these incredible family values that puts our family values to shame.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
for sure.
The way the sacrifices they make as a family, as people, all these things that they do. And I just felt there was just something in my mind that, I don't know, it was just, I was inspired by it. And I mean, my wife has already impacted my own family. It was turbulent at the time. Anyway. And so when I had that chance to bargain for my life and I thought I could employ people, I already had the seed in my mind say, I'd love to hire them because they're so much more cost effective. And then when I'm in Australia doing my entrepreneurial stuff, at least I can finally afford some support and resources I need.
Yeah.
So that was the thinking initially, just to serve my own needs.
Oh,
Yeah, but the idea of employing thousands encouraged me to apply the business model and idea to a market, to an audience, rather than just my own needs. And what's fascinating is I thought I discovered my purpose when I decided to become an entrepreneur and burn my bridge in jobs. It was only 6 years later, after my business running it for already 6 years, that I looked back behind me and realized, oh no, my purpose is providing jobs.
Yeah, because you could see how many you provided. That's amazing.
So by providing a job, I get to see the impact in the Philippines. And by
Yes.
providing a job to my clients now in America, because I'm starting my company in America, I get to see the impact I make to my fellow entrepreneurs' businesses
Yeah.
and managers of large companies and all this stuff. Because when you've got the right people who are the right fit for you with the skills, the behavioral, cultural tendencies, and all this stuff, and they're bloody cost effective, it's liberating. You finally go,
Yeah.
I've seen my clients' businesses go from being stuck to growth to being a struggling business, not able to service their customers and taking on volume to taking on volume and taking on growth. I've seen businesses employ more people locally as a result of having a team that they can finally get the right support that can go on a journey. Because a lot of people in the Philippines are hardworking and loyal to employers.
Yes.
They've got traditional employment values. That's hard to come across these days. So now in
It's
America,
true.
when I'm employing staff for Americans, I'm noticing one thing. I've got people in America saying, Chris, I can't find local people here. And even if I do, there's such a struggle to keep. I mean, I spent all this time training them.
Yes,
They
training
train them.
That's why
Oh,
outsourcing is so important. I mean, it's like they need you.
the world needs them, and
Yeah.
and they need us.
Yeah.
So as foreigners, they look up to foreigners as well. They're westernized in their cultural things. So as you can see me talking about it, I'm very still passionate. It's also fascinating to be passionate in something 15 years later.
I know.
So my
That's
passion,
incredible.
my passion and purpose of serving and contribution is now not just in employing thousands of people, which I've already lived up to, but I've also bargained the second time for my life. And that was to inspire millions as well.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. You know, when I could have been that white woman in the Philippines. There was like two instances where my dad, someone asked to marry me through my dad in the cab driver.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then I went to a village, and so my hair is dark, you can see, but in the sun, when I get sun, it's like blonde. And I went to this village, and it was called Tiburon, and stayed with this local family, and all the villagers, all the kids were like following me around, and it was just like so interesting. And then I fell in love with an Israeli. But I was 16, so it wasn't really love, but whatever.
Sure.
But I have my own special connection with the Philippines, and my dad dated, my parents were divorced and dated them. So, and it just seems like you're right about the culture, and then also the work ethic, that respect.
Incredible.
Yeah. And also the skill level, intelligence, and just like tenacity and self-starter. So yeah, it's wonderful. That's so great. And I want to talk about your book, Near Death Lessons.
Sure.
So what inspired you to write it? Was it after all of your near deaths, or had you only had a few?
Yeah, look, I mean, it was the second brain operation that almost killed me.
Second.
Yeah. So I had the operation because I wanted to get the tumor out of the way. I had two tumors in the middle of my head, and one of the tumors, and my wife was 8 months pregnant. So I thought, to support my wife, let me get my brain operation out of the way, and then we could carry on. But something, I've had already a brain operation. I've already had my kidneys, operated on, and I've had eye surgeries. I've had all these things because of the hereditary condition. And then here I am in this operating room, and the doctor goes in to remove the first tumor, and then goes in the other hemisphere, the left, to remove the other one. Guess what happens? Well, it touches the first tumor and it explodes in my brain. It goes from a surgery to remove two tumors to all of a sudden a bloody affair trying to save this guy's life.
Did you actually die? Did you die?
60% across the line. I've crossed the other side, which I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
Sure. 60% of people die on the operating table. I'm one of the lucky 40%. So
wow.
He not only managed to get that right tumor cleaned up, but he still went in with the left part of my brain and got the other one out. He still got both of them out. Somehow I survived, but I survived, and I woke up after 5 days in a coma in massive adversity, massive side effects. completely deaf in my right ear. My two visions were completely split, and my head was spinning. So if I looked this way, my spinning would go that way. I couldn't. Half my lung was collapsed. My speech, half my tongue doesn't work still. There's all these things, the complications that my world and my existence in this world was, I don't know, shattered, fractured.
Yeah.
This reality that I woke up to was not what I never thought such a reality could exist. I mean, one doesn't know that one has two different visions running at any one time. They were completely split. One doesn't know that your balance, when it's completely gone, you can't even, stand upright. One didn't know that, there's so many things that I experienced.
Amazing.
But before I woke up in my body, I did have that out-of-body experience. Again, I always notice when I'm having an out-of-body experience because one, time operates at a different dimension there. It's a lot slower. Like here, there's time and then there's time there. It's warped. It's slow and can go on for a while, but it felt like a second. I don't know. It's weird. That's one thing I noticed. And the second thing I noticed is that I don't have any physical form. I'm not associated to temperature, skin, feel, body. I'm just conscious awareness, and I'm in a void. I'm somehow in this vastness of a void. So I don't have these other things that people might be saying, but I got this void. And so I always say that life and death coexist, because when I close my eyes and I go beyond my thoughts and feelings and temperature sensations and all this stuff, that void is the same space where I go to when I pass. So open your eyes, you're here in this existence. Close your eyes, you're technically connected to the other existence. I don't know. This is my theories.
That's incredible.
It's a trippy place, because why am I more powerful? So I spent $175,000 in the early 90s on personal development, all this stuff. And yet I go to India, meditate for 3 weeks, and I personally grow far more on those 3 weeks, meditating, doing nothing but silence and observing self, and became, in terms of my mortality and my essence, right? Meditating. What the hell's going on here? That's
what I preach. Yeah.
Why am I in so much more intelligent and incredibly, why are things going in the right way and serendipity? All these things happen when I'm in flow and just kind of allowing to be this vessel and this vehicle to receive this incredible. Why do these things happen? And look, I know there's a lot of people who might not be spiritual, but I like to think that for those people that are spiritual here,
maybe not in our audience. Okay, very spiritual.
Our audiences are very spiritual. Good.
Hopefully, or maybe they will be after this.
There we go. Okay. So I just have to let you know, after all these near-death experiences, I cannot help myself but be spiritually sensitive. I am so spiritually sensitive. It's annoying. It's overwhelming. It's frustrating. I get frustrated because of the overwhelming gratitude, spontaneous love that happens to me. And it's not by desire or want. It comes at moments. And now let me say that this is always like opening up your heart. When you open up your heart and you open up your mind to appreciate everything and be in a state of gratitude, it opens the door to the spiritual floodgates.
Yes.
Gratitude is the door with an open heart space. Do not pigeon your existence to what you perceive in what your brain patterns are telling you that this is how you've interpreted this life, your existence. Because your interpretations of your existence in life is only an interpretation. It's like a reflection on a window across the street. That's just a reflection.
That's beautiful. I feel like I'm listening to an inspirational speaker. You're just an incredible inspiration. I was going to ask you one last question. I could talk to you all day. I had about 20 different questions for you. And then we just started talking about traveling and our family. which I love. Obviously, I love that. And so what is Zen success to you? Because that's the name of the show.
It's using spiritual power, your true core deep self to serve and contribute.
Amazing. I want to go back and listen to that over and over again and play it for my kids. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you, hearing about your incredible life story. Everybody buy his book, Near Death Lessons, and I'll put your website and how to order your book. I'll get that from your publicist. I'll put that in the show notes. So thanks for being on my show today, Chris.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
That's it for today's episode of Zen Success. Head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to shows. Zen Success is also available on the radio in select markets through amfm247.com. Subscribe to the show and share with friends. Be sure to head on over to zensuccessshow.com to help you on your Zen success journey and join us on the next episode. May you find your own Zen success in life.